What's up, everybody? My name is Aaron, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio, and welcome back to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Now, before we get going, I'm going to go into our inventory and shuffle around some stories because we collected a lot. Okay, I think I have a good mix of stories now. I went and tried swapping out what I could. I tried to keep in mind how open the eyes were, but also I wanted to make sure I got some like a lot of our newer stories in there to be ready. Now we're going to head back out. Let's take a quick glance at where we are. All right, we're on the Kentucky-Indiana border. I really want to make my way back up to Quinn in New York. Just because he was the first character we met and we just kind of left him up there while we went exploring. So let's try and cut through Ohio into Pennsylvania. We'll see if we get Mason again and then back up to Quinn. So I did see a campfire in the distance, yeah, right behind Nashville. Let's see who's there. Althea, okay, I don't want to see them too soon. I need my other characters to catch up.
The edge of summer has turned the ocean choppy and misanthropic, and the skies miserably gray. The boardwalk prophetess lured you into her tent with a promise to read a fortune for free. Seems like business has slowed to a crawl already.
Sit at her table.
Before you lie the instruments of her profession. There's tarot cards, Rider-Waite, but also Marseille for traditionalists, rosary beads and costume jewelry, and of course, the centerpiece, a great glass globe.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Listen to your fortune.
With practiced theatricality, she goes directly for the crystal ball, letting her eyes unfocus as though she can see a great distance into it. She brings up names, places, asks if you've known someone called John, if you have a relative in Newark.
Well, I don't want to be a dick, so I'm going to be a good sport about it.
You'll latch on to what she says, and together you dance towards some insights about your romantic prospects. It's relieving to meet an honest charlatan instead of the ghouls and ghasts of the road. You might even say you're having fun, until she abruptly stops talking.
Oh, well, I already do not like this graphic, so ask her what's wrong.
Your eyes, she says, her voice suddenly drained of the bassy drama that was her stock in trade. You've met him. You've seen him, too. You carry him with you.
Oh no, am I possessed? Okay, it was Mr. Wolf like the actual devil? You know, like the wolf in sheep's clothing, or the devil wears a suit and tie. I think we lost a poker game to the devil. And we're now possessed. Yes, did you miss me?
The words that come out of your mouth are not your own. They seem unwilling or unable to form properly out of a human throat. They're more like snarls, warning noises of a vicious animal.
Oh no, try to move.
The glass globe shatters. Your vision is hazy, and your body is not your own. You came far to get away from me, the voice lodged inside you says. But this one has a way of wandering. The fortune teller has collapsed, cowering. Consider your debt to me repaid.
So by giving me a story to pay off my own debt, she has also paid off her debt? Oh, we're totally the devil, and I do not like that. But I have been watching a lot of Black Clover lately, and that shiz is dope. I don't know, it's a real good anime. I think everyone should watch it and read the manga. But I'm gonna go ahead and black out.
When you come to your senses, you're lying face down on the rough wood of the boardwalk, sore and weak. An empty patch of wood, cleaner than the surrounding planks, is all that remains of the fortune teller's tent.
Move on. More curses, more supernatural themes. I think, okay, so right now my theory is Mr. Wolf is the actual devil, and we're going to have to come face to face with him in his, I guess, true form toward the end of the game. And I'm having, thinking back to Althea's story where she said she made a deal with the devil. I think the devil, and also Rocio, I think the devil is playing into... He has a hand in every single one of these characters. So I'm very curious how that is going to progress. And I'm also postulating that we may already be dead and we're walking, you know, between the mortal plane and the afterlife. It's a lot to chew on. You wait in the soup line for over an hour. It's barely crawling along. You round the corner of the building and see far away a lone pair of nurses struggling to ladle out soup to hundreds. Gonna be waiting here a while longer, sighs the mother in line beside you. Seems like it. You and her get talking. After a while, the topic drifts into a strange place, and she starts telling you about the witch who drinks the blood of travelers in New Orleans. You recognize it as a story about the woman selling grist in New Orleans. Way more outrageous than your version. Okay, so I think I don't have this story currently in my inventory, but it still grew. I guess because I've still told it. So that's interesting. I know that story. You tell her your version. That's not as exciting, she says diplomatically. I mean, it sure sounds realer than what I heard, but I think Toby likes mine best. She bounces her child encouragingly on her hip, but Toby's too hungry to smile. Move on. Ooh. Okay, so I don't have to have a story currently in my inventory for it to grow. Welcome back, Mason!
First, Ma and Pa wanted me and Paul on the front lines. They wanted someone to be proud of, and I did as they asked. Then the government wanted me to take an IOU, and I did. When there were no more jobs, I, along with thousands of others like me, went and asked Hoover to pay up. General MacArthur was so scared of us, he brought in goddamn tanks to keep us from tearing apart DC. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones? I don't mean to be rude, but civvies don't understand what real tragedy is. Love? All the connections, which is what love is, isn't it? Drowned in the mud in no man's land with Paul. But love comes in so many forms. I love now the ability to walk more dearly than ever. I love more deeply the sun and the earth. So, you must have seen some interesting stuff on the road. Anything exciting?
But of course.
That's a good one. Better than war stories, anyway. The government's not much when it don't provide. It's just empty promises and broken beliefs, broken hopes, faraway bullets. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
I'm still finding I'm lacking a lot in the happy story department.
For a moment there, just a moment, I felt better about it all too. Heaven. I've already seen it. It's a little clean for my taste, but since Paul's there, you won't hear me complaining.
What? It just jumped right to the screen. Okay, a hopeful story. Oh, he might like the morality play.
I liked that one. There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. But faith. The time for faith is long past, my friend. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
I really want to unlock chapter 3 for him. So I'm going to go ahead and tell him Rocio's story.
I liked that one.
No.
There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give
No.
it away too quickly.
No, I don't think we opened it wide enough yet.
When the memories swirl, I find joy again. Between the trenches, I catch a glimpse of Paul before he was gone. And the time before then. Well, that was joy to me. The night's over soon. I should be leaving. The road takes me this way next. Where's it taking you? I wish there was a road I could take home. Home as I knew it. To my sister Jessie and all of them before the war. But there ain't. It's something I think the road is helping me to understand.
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours. You got a light, friend?
Sure.
You offer a match, which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. Thanks, he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip.
Okay, this is neat. I'm not usually the one to instigate a conversation. So, where are you going?
Don't rightly know where I'm going. You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. Don't rightly know how I got going either.
Why?
They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. A damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet. He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
Because he's another ghost! We're meeting, like, you know, I expected ghost stories to be a part of this, but we're meeting, you know, so many ghosts, which is just leading me down to think we might just already be dead and we're wandering in the in-between, you know, with these other spirits. You spend a while in the cool shade of this gas station. You notice 3 kids sitting beside their family car while their parents argue loudly with the cashier inside. The children seem embarrassed. You see the oldest brother lean over and distract his siblings with a story. Listen in. He starts telling them a story about the bus which only lost souls can see. You realize almost instantly that he's telling you a new version of the tale of that strange bus, but with new, exciting, over-the-top details. He tells it well. When the parents come stomping furiously out of the gas station, you make yourself scarce, missing the ending of the boy's new story, but the part you heard is definitely easy to remember. It'll stick with you for a while. Move on.
Low tide on a moonless night. This beach is long, stretching toward a receding sea. In the darkness, the sand seems coarse and gray, alien. The stars are dim and distant.
Look to the horizon.
It outshines the stars with its presence, a streak of sickly-colored light, leaving a trail of distorted fire. It slowly creeps along the sky like a vast worm, though you know that, given the distance, it must be moving at great speed.
So my first inclination is to keep looking at the sky, but I'm going to... Oh, I hate that icon. I hate the tower icon. I'm going to look back at the shore.
And there, near the water's edge, a human figure. They stand there, transfixed by the light. 1, 2, 3 steps, ankles lowering into the surf. Silent collapse into a black wave, bathed in a nameless color. Then, nothing.
Move on. I don't know what I was expecting. Hey Quinn, what's up? I'm coming for you, boy. Took a while to get back here, but maybe we'll unlock chapter 2 for you.
Hey, traveler. Come to join my fire again? Well, I guess I know you well enough to let you set yourself down for a spell.
Much appreciated.
You remember Cass and Flip?
Yes, those good doggos.
You want to hear more about my travels? Well, sure, why not? Nothing better than trading stories around the fire, and I got stories. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
I got you covered.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. This land sure is something, ain't it? I can't wait to see it all. Tramping like I do makes me realize the land's another kind of companion. It's always with you. Maybe things are so depressed because folks lost sight of that. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Oh, I think he would like Bill the Cowboy who rode into the storm around Cleveland.
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn. Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it, but the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still in supply. Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless you're rich. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
I got you, friend.
That was a chuckle to be sure, but do you know anything more lively?
I didn't think the corpse in the desert cursed by 2 witches would be a funny story.
Death. Now why you wanna go worry about that? Don't got enough on your plate as it is. Ain't nobody can avoid changing. Can't run from the dying, but the living can be mighty fine if you go about it right. I wanna hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Okay, redemption.
Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good venture tale instead any day.
Okay, so he doesn't just want any old ghost story. He wants exciting ghost stories.
Wishes come true, huh? If I had to say, it'd be great to have red beans and rice cooked with some fatty bacon.
Ooh, I love red beans and rice.
Supposed to be a Mississippi River specialty, but I ain't never had it.
Oh, it's so good.
Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Okay, I thought for sure that was our last story, but we got one more. Okay, cool.
Whoa, quite a story, stranger. Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina, if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me, so if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful. You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that. Oh, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way. The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day is a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't. Plenty nice things to see if you know where to look.
This farmer's loitering beside a couple crates of berries, idly watching the clouds go by. Waiting for the pickup, he says, trying to make small talk. Hey, you want to hear a wild story? Absolutely. He starts telling you about the farmers who hid their murdering son from the law. It takes a couple of minutes, but suddenly you recognize it as a story about the farmers who gave you lemonade. Whoever told it to the farmer changed, well, a lot, but it's still pretty good. Where'd you hear that story? Oh, I can't remember, he says. I think I've known it for years, since I was a boy for sure. That can't be right. Leave him with his tail, that story happened to me. I'm gonna leave him with his tail. You thank him for his story and start to mosey off down the road. Keep cool, friend, he calls after you. Move on. Always let the story grow.
The women are oblivious to your approach. Their eyes are shut. Their touch, where they hold hands, is gentle. They speak in low tones. One stifles a burst of laughter, but it brings a smile to their faces. Sorry, says the one who laughed. Don't be, another assures her. They don't look up.
Well, I don't want to disturb them, so I want to try and pass by quietly.
And we give thanks for those who have left us, who we wanted gone, for the skills to thrive without them, and for the companions who make the effort joyful. The voice of the youngest wavers. The woman to her left squeezes her hand. This is not a scene to intrude upon.
Exactly. Move on. That was real sweet.
Muddling through the dark, you stumble into the path of the white deer. Its beauty strikes you at once. It is something otherworldly, beyond borders, a moon swimming in the void. Human shouts not far away break the spell. The deer's ears prick up. This thing is being hunted.
Do nothing. I'm going to help the deer. I helped the buffalo. I will help this deer.
You know a way out of here. As the hunter's cries get louder, you approach the deer carefully, palms outstretched. As you grow close, your features become clearer in the light of the deer's aura. It bolts into the path of an oncoming train.
Excuse me. Move on. Lame.
A few wanderers like you are looking for a place to camp. We heard there's a Leatherman cave nearby, they tell you. They describe a locally famous vagrant who hiked this area for almost 30 years. He's dead now, but his caves are the best place to camp at any town.
Where is it?
You and the other wanderers find the cave easily, because someone's lit a fire there. As you approach, you see a silhouette bend over the flames with an odd creaking sound, like a door swinging in the wind.
Who's there?
His coat is crudely stitched from leather plates that squeak against each other. The Leatherman, one of the others whispers. A ghost. The Leatherman must have heard, but he just stares. His face is corpse still.
Oh, of course he isn't a ghost.
He's eating, you say, and point out his can of beans. Je ne suis pas un fantôme, the Leatherman says, and adds, Idiot. Oh, bursts your companion. Canadien? Soon, he and the Leatherman are deep in conversation, and your group has a safe place to rest.
Well, that worked out. Move on. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode of Where the Water Tastes Like Wine here. Thank you so much for joining me. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!